Hi, I'm April Boykin. I'm a holistic psychotherapist and an Eden Energy Medicine advanced practitioner.
And I'm Andrea Vaughn. I am a clinical social worker and I'm an alignment coach. Welcome to our podcast, Healing Doesn't Have to Hurt.
This is a podcast for anyone who is on their healing journey, seeking personal growth and alignment through gentle practices that honor our nervous system and our soul.
We're glad you're here.
All right, we are here again. Episode 4.
Wow.
And the title is?
The title is I'm Overwhelmed because I'm overwhelmed.
I know that one well.
I also,
yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Overwhelm is, for a lot of us, a state of being, right?
Yes. You almost don't know unless you're on vacation and all of a sudden you realize, oh, wow, there's nothing to do. But then it takes so long to settle in because that's like a steady state for us.
You know, that's interesting because it does take most people 2 to 3 days to get out of, right, whatever we want to call it. But really what it is a state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
And most of us have systems that are overwhelmed. And we get so used to feeling overwhelmed that oftentimes we don't even realize we are actually feeling that way.
Right.
I'll say to someone, you're stressed or you're overwhelmed. And they'll say, no, I'm not. I don't have that as an issue. And I'll say, well, you're experiencing these things. Those are all signs of stress.
Right.
And instead, what they realize is they're so used to being that way that they don't even.
That's their normal.
That's their normal.
Yes, I've had that with a lot of different things in life, that's just my normal, that I'm always tired. I've had chunks of, I don't know what it's like to have energy when I'm in that steady state and overwhelm. For sure, it's just, this is my 100%. Was like 60% or something, but that to me, that's my 100%. Right. Yeah.
So what does your overwhelm look like?
What does it look like when I'm overwhelmed? I think maybe it varies. I think sometimes I go into avoidant mode. I avoid things. I'm just going to say it. I play Candy Crush. I know you know that more than I would ever admit. Thank gosh it ends after 5 lives or we would be in trouble. I would not be employed. I avoid by just doing some mindless things, or I spend way more time doing things that are fun. Like I love to sing and play at open mics and write music and meet up with people who do fun things. I will avoid the things I need to do. It's good to do these things, but at the expense of like my messy home or making medical appointments or anything, because the things I am avoiding, I'm too overwhelmed to do them. So I kind of avoid. I think that's my go-to. Or I sleep. I'll like sleep in. I'll sleep a lot. I'll take a lot of naps. So I shut down and avoid. That's what I do.
And so a little bit about what you're talking about is functional freeze.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is
doom scrolling. I can't get off the couch. I know I need to go clean. I'm just going to sit there and scroll. I'll play Candy Crush. I have functional freeze in a big way.
Yes. I do as well. I will, Netflix or, something that I escape down the rabbit hole and I'm not doing anything.
Because we've been doing everything for so long. Yeah.
So for me, overwhelm looks very different than what a lot of people expect, because when I am inside my head pinging around, right?
Yeah.
It's much like going to Las Vegas. My insides are
love Las Vegas.
And I do love Las Vegas. And it feels like I'm level, right? When I walk into a casino, all that noise.
Yes. I'm a little bit like, oh, okay.
You're overwhelmed driver.
Yes.
For me, I'm like, But most people, when I am truly overwhelmed, right, don't even recognize. They'll say to me, oh, you never get overwhelmed. You never get this or that, because I am apparently calm, cool, and collected on the outside.
I can vouch for that. Yeah, I can. Now I think that we've been talking about these things. I have a sense because you're humming or you're doing your little techniques or you're doing the chicken. I'm like, but otherwise I wouldn't know. But now that I know you really well, I know your techniques and your little tricks. But otherwise, I would not recognize that you're overwhelmed.
So yeah, I think that most of us get to a place of overwhelm fairly frequently. I know I personally do that. And what does overwhelm mean? It means there's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's more than what your system can handle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already stressed and you add something little in,
Yeah.
it can push you to overwhelm.
Yes.
If you're like me and you've got too many things going on all the time, a little disruption, a little change can overwhelm the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tend to get irritable, right? And a lot of people don't see that. It tends
Yeah.
to be more in
Mask that or something.
I do.
Or what does your irritability look like for you?
It looks like in my head, I'm saying, "Are you really telling me this story now?"
I know. I know what it looks like in you. Your eyes are telling a very different story.
Like,
was she swearing right now?
That's exactly it. So in
Yeah.
my head, and I can be attuning, but I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You're complaining about this right now? I have 75 things to do, and this is what we need to talk about." And it's so disrespectful to the other person, but it's not intentional. It's that my system is at capacity. There is no more bandwidth. I can't help it.
Right.
And that's the thing about overwhelm. Overwhelm is a true reflection that we have achieved the highest level of fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
Like our bodies are, and our brains
Saturated
are saturated. They're
That's the word.
screaming,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so we have told ourselves, right? Our brain has said, okay, you're not safe. We've got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just in such a heightened state of fight or flight. And you're ready to run, or which is part of why when someone wants to talk to me, when I'm in this state, I feel trapped.
Yeah.
And so my brain is like, you have to be kind and don't. But I'm thinking, why are you even telling this? Right?
It's so amazing to me. I just have to interject that now this is what episode 4. And I know this was the purpose of the podcast, but that everything comes down to this, to your nervous system, or all these major things. And it's kind of amazing to me that I never realized it until now. I just did not focus on this part at all. And so it's just fascinating to me.
Well, I think that that's pretty common. I think most of us don't think about it because a lot of us couldn't even identify that we are in a constant state of overwhelm or a chronic state of stress.
Yeah.
Don't realize
It becomes your normal.
And so if we looked at this as a check engine light, right? Like that's what stress is. And stress to the point of that, and we ignore
sticker over that thing, like go another.
Well, we go, oh, I'm stressed, and we just keep going.
Yes.
We go, oh, it's a check engine light. That doesn't mean anything. But when the tire and the engine light come on,
yes,
right? That's what overwhelm is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're still not paying attention to the fact that it is information that tells us we need something.
Yes.
That it's information that it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so this dysregulated nervous system has no more capacity to take anything else. It's important to remember that when people are in overwhelm, they can't remember things. They can't form new memories.
Yeah.
Or it's very hard, right? I mean, can't is big, but they can't form new memories. They can't hold on to things. They tend to make more mistakes. Yeah. They tend to not be able to follow executive functions. They can't go all the way through the steps of something. They're easy mistakes. We tend to be irritable. There are just so many different ways to look at someone and say you're overwhelmed. And in this society, as chronic as our stress is, as so many demands are bigger than what we can achieve, all our personal expectations, like our need for perfectionism, our need to be right, our need to be, anything that isn't what we are easily, just keeps piling on. And so overwhelm is a pretty constant state for a lot of people. And I would include myself in that. I pretty regularly feel overwhelmed, which is why you always see me doing so
many things to regulate.
Regulatory things for myself.
Yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here? How do we, where do you begin? Where do you begin if your life is so full and you can't think of things to eliminate? If you don't have a chance to decrease your activities, decrease your responsibilities, what's your approach?
So ultimately, we all need to reassess and look at where we can pare down, back out, shift what's important to us. But for most of us, we can't do that overnight. You can't do it immediately. What you can do immediately is to really begin to recognize, oh, this is a state of alarm, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
I should not have this.
Give it a voice. Almost give it a voice.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't feel like this. My digestion shouldn't be off this way, or my sleep shouldn't be off, or yes, all of those things. First is to identify that we're there.
Yeah.
This might actually be a state of overwhelm.
Yeah. Like it, right? Like, I deserve to feel better. I deserve to feel peace. A lot of us can't even say that.
Right.
Like I would like to not feel this way. And that's a big thing to say.
So it is, it is, and I think this is one of those places that I can say this. As we begin to heal, we do actually become less tolerant of feeling bad.
Yes.
And so,
Yes, 100%.
even if we can't get there 100%, really even just being able to say, I don't want to live this way.
Yeah.
And I was liken it to my chiropractor. When I started seeing my chiropractor and he fixed my range of motion in my neck, and I was like, I didn't have any idea that I could feel better than, like I could actually turn my head.
Right.
And now, if that ever creaks back up, that I have limited motion in my, I have no tolerance.
Yes. Because you know what it felt like to have some relief.
And that I can have relief. And
Yes.
that's the same with overwhelm in the nervous system. And so now, when I am pushed beyond measure, I look at, okay, the fact that I'm irritated about this, or I'm unhappy about this, helps me keep my commitment to myself that I'm not going to let it this way, that I'm going to address it, even when I'm in those moments. So I do always just want to say that,
Yeah, I
just
love it.
because we go down this path of regulating our nervous system and taking care of ourselves, it doesn't mean we won't ever get here again.
Yeah.
We always will have moments that get too big and too much. And knowing that we have the ability to realign ourselves, come back to ourselves, is
It's so true.
so then what do? We look at what we can do physically, mentally, emotionally, cognitively to regulate our nervous system.
Yeah.
And it's important to know that you can't just regulate your system once, right? Right?
It's not like I did the spoon thing that you showed me once. Why am I not better? Oh, did you?
I brought my spoons.
So I promise I did not know, right?
I know.
That's so funny.
I did bring my spoons. We'll talk about spoons, but
I'm gonna have to like.
so we are going to have.
I'm just sure.
We don't have to show our.
Okay.
We don't have to show our.
But you're good.
But
Oh,
it is.
That's really cool.
I know, right? My spoons. Yes, we are in alignment. So it is. We can't just do it once, right? It's got to be, and that's why you say to me, like, "Oh, I know you're doing this," and it's true. I take moments throughout the day to do all sorts of different techniques when I can feel myself rising. And the more stressed I am, or the more chaos I have going on, or the more things I'm dealing with, the more I do.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
Okay.
And so let's just go through a handful of techniques that we can do, because the whole idea is to calm the nervous system. And when you keep doing these, you're actually building resilience. So the more you do, you're taking your nervous system that's up here and dipping it down and dipping it down. And eventually what's going to happen is it regulates quicker. Your body's like, oh, we're going to do this one now.
Yes, some's conditioned.
It is conditioned, just like exercise, just like
Yeah.
everything else. The more you do it, the body's like, oh, it's time to relax. Oh, it's time to relax. And every time we dip out of that stress, we help ourselves get more regulated. And the more regulated we are, the less the overwhelm feels, which is why, like I said, I do these all the time. Yeah, we'll start with this one. Okay. And so, this is one I learned. It's my favorite one that I learned in the Eden Energy Medicine program. And it is about grounding. And as we know, our blood has iron in it, and so it's magnetic. So a stainless steel spoon can help you ground quicker than anything else. It gets you back into your body.
That has helped me multiple times since you taught
Yes.
this. For like big interviews, and I was going to do like something on the news, and I had a spoon out.
Yes.
This is my feet. Yeah.
So when you take a spoon and you rub the bottom of your feet, heel to toe, toe to heel, figure eights, however you do it, what that does is it brings the the blood, the energy all the way down from up here, because when we're feeling anxiety, when we're feeling stress, it tends to be up here. And for those of us who dissociate, which a lot of us do, we're kind of not in our body, right? When we're not quiet in our body, when you do this, it gets you back into your body, it gets you in. And so do it a handful of times, do it until you have a yawn, do it until you can release the stress. When we're working with the energy in our bodies and we have a yawn, or we have our eyes water, or a sigh, any of that kind of stuff, that is a sign that our body is responding. So it's a response recognition to how we're working with our body.
Okay.
So next thing that we can do is use our breath. And this is just called a sigh. And we all do it all the time. So let's take a big breath in and sigh. Right? We let our shoulders, it does, and it softens, right? So let's do it again. Another one.
I don't think I ever gave thought to sighing. Like somebody told me once to point out that I sighed a lot, and they kept asking me what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. I don't know why, but am I offending you for sighing? But they thought there was something wrong, but I think I just must naturally do it. I think I sigh a lot without knowing it.
So I think we as humans do. And so when people will look at that as a boredom, oh, that's an indication you're bored, or you're not happy with something I said, we have demonized the sigh. We've made it something that is negative.
Is right.
When in reality, it's actually the body's reaction, a natural reaction. And we can hack it. We can engage it and get it moving.
And so by sighing, what is the positive thing? Again, it just happening when you're doing
tension. It stimulates the vagus nerve. Or thankfully, when we take in a big breath.
I do that anywhere.
Or you can do it anywhere, right?
And I would just say,
I'm fine. Take a sigh with me. Choosing the breath.
Okay.
And we can become more purposeful.
Okay. I love that one.
And then there are always other techniques that we can use. We can use orienting ourselves. Okay, I am so overwhelmed that I can't connect to the room that I'm in. And so you can do, what are 5 things I see in the space around me, right? So maybe I see bricks on the wall. I see, the corner of this, the color of that. And then what are 4 things I hear? And, maybe it's the hum of the air conditioning, or my own voice, or my own breath, right? And then what are 3 things I can feel? The chair that I'm seated on.
Feel my feet on the floor. I can feel the air conditioning on my face. Yes. Anything that's sensory too is mindfulness, in a way, which brings you back to the moment, which helps with the prefrontal cortex. It's all connected. And then when we talk about this more, I'm just making the connections
100%
of why things feel good.
Sure.
I use that one a lot, actually, just to get me. Sometimes it's very hard for me to be in my life, in the moment. And especially if I'm, and just grounding and bringing myself to the space that I'm in is really helpful.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. So then the 2 can be, 2 things you smell. And then 1, I never want to really consider about taste. I just always think about gratitude. And I'm grateful that my body has all this capacity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So the last one is gratitude. Like something I'm grateful for.
Yes.
I've never thought of that. I love that. I always end it too. And it's like closure. But also it's such a good one.
Yeah, gratitude. I'm so grateful that my body has all these awarenesses.
Yeah.
Right. I always think that is right.
So what would you call it? The sensory exercise?
It's a sensory exercise, and it helps. Right. Yeah. So we've talked about grounding, we've talked about breath and softening the body, and we've talked about senses, using all of our senses. So
that's great.
There are other things, and I know you see me doing them all the time. I cross my body a lot. I do this shoulder, and I'm just being careful because of the microphone.
Yeah.
But it's shoulder to hip, shoulder to hip.
Yeah.
And so we know that our brain, the right side of our brain, controls the left, and the left controls the right. And sometimes when I get really stressed, it's like I can't think my way out of a paper bag. I can't, maybe I trip over my own feet, or I can't on my knees. I can't remember. I can't.
Yeah.
And I do this because when I do this, it helps me get back into that homolateral right?
Yeah.
In that cross patterning instead of homolata.
I remember you were telling me I was just learning something new. Can't remember what, but I kept forgetting. And you were suggesting to do the crossover as I was studying it.
Yes.
And I did that, and I noticed a little bit of a difference. And that was one of the times I'm like, I did it. Why isn't that working? I'm like, well, you need to do it more than one time, Andrea.
Oh yeah.
So when I increased doing it, I could notice a difference of something just opening up and retaining information more. And that's really helpful when you're overwhelmed and you can't think straight or you can't remember. These techniques you can do right in the moment that can open up. You don't even, if you can't cut out things in your life yet and you have to still keep doing, at least these are accessible.
Well, and this is patterning, right? So we are patterned for this. And when we get stressed, we get out of our regular pattern.
Yeah.
So when you're crossing, so that's a tip. There, I wasn't going to say, but anytime you're trying to learn something new, cross your body.
Yeah.
It really makes
that helped me.
huge difference. So again, overwhelm is so common, and it's a state of being, right? For many of us, it's a whole body state. It's not just the brain. It's not just the body. It is the brain and body in sync being overwhelmed. Yeah. And so to do that, to get out of that state, is to do activities frequently throughout the day. You know, the ones that we've done, anything that feels good to you, rocking, humming, listening to music, so many things. Just engage your body's nervous system to slow it down, calm it down. So then you're better able to manage whatever that piece of overload is that goes in.
I love it.
I do too. I love
It's just practical things that we can do like right now.
Yeah.
That aren't scary, that feel good, and that help us heal and help us live. And I just know I am like living proof that you don't always have to live in overwhelm.
Yeah.
Like I have really experienced peaceful chunks of time. And like you said, it's just now I know, like I can't tolerate it when I'm not. And so I can pay attention more like, oh, this is feeling overwhelming. I don't like it. What do I need to do to get back to it? That is like a superpower. Right?
Well, that's when overwhelm goes from a state of being to just information. You say, oh, here I am again.
It doesn't have to stay that way.
It doesn't have to stay.
And we just need to believe that.
Thank you so much for joining us for our chats. Where we are sharing some of the information that we have found valuable for in our own personal lives.
Things that we talk about over a drink or dinner, we just want to share with other people because we know we're not the only ones. And we really appreciate the support and you tuning in. And really, we would love to hear any other either suggestions or things that come up in your conversations with your family and friends that you would like to hear some tips and tricks on how to regulate your nervous system to address them and just live more peacefully. Please chime in the comments and let us know what more you would like to hear. That would be fantastic.
We all deserve to live a more peaceful, balanced life.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Be gentle with yourself.